This is a 2016 Harley-Davidson Dyna Wide Glide, and today I'm going to do a quick walk around, review, and test ride of this bike, and I'm going to tell you why I think the Dyna was the best first rider's bike that Harley-Davidson has ever made. Let's check it out. So there's a lot of things about this particular Wide Glide that make it a really unique bike, and it's definitely a buyer's choice, which is why it's also a dealer's choice as chosen by Red here at Tallahassee Harley-Davidson. I walked into the Tallahassee Harley-Davidson shop and said, "Yo, Red, is there a bike on the lot right now that you would turn around and sell in a heartbeat first before any other bike?" He walked me up to this Wide Glide and he said, "If I could sell this bike today, I definitely would. I think it would make someone's day." And after having spent just a few minutes getting the bike from the Harley shop here to where I'm going to shoot this video, I got to tell you, this would definitely make someone's day, week, probably their year. So there are two things about this bike that are going to catch your eye when you first walk up to it: the red paint and these awesome 16-inch chiseled handlebars. Let's talk about the paint job first. So we have this beautiful red, dark candy apple base paint with some metallic fleck in it. And then here on the tank, as you'll see, it's actually got some ghosted in flames for a little bit of tasteful badassery touch just to the paint job. You've got the beautiful paint, of course, on your front fender, your rear fender, and on your gas tank. And mixed with this chrome and with these black accents, the whole ensemble really just screams tasteful, yet still Harley-Davidson gnarliness. So after the paint, you're probably gonna notice these big 16-inch ape hanger handlebars on the bike. And typically, I'm not one who's gonna look at ape hangers and be instantly enthralled by it just because of how they sometimes feel on my stature. I'm not a particularly tall guy. I'm only about 5'9", 5'10", so really tall bars tend to put the controls and the handlebars sort of out of my reach, or they'd be kind of crunched up. But with the natural stature of this bike, the seat's kind of laid back, you've got your forward controls. The fact that these handlebars actually follow the perfect uniform angle from the forks really allows you to lean back. You get some good height from your hands, but as you see, they do actually curve back down, so you don't end up flexing your wrists all the way up here. Your wrists actually get to relax and come down, sitting under the bars for a more comfortable fit and finish. So another cool touch on this particular Wide Glide is this front wheel, which is fully spoked. Something you would also see on the Street Bob, the Dyna Street Bob, and the current Street Bob that is now on the Softail platform. But you do still get it here on this Wide Glide, and it adds a certain sort of retro vintage feel to a bike that also harkens back to some of the early chopper days in Harley's history. Here on the other side of the bike is where you can see some of the performance upgrades that have been made to this bike since it left the factory, including a Stage 1 kit, which if you haven't ridden a stock bike and then ridden the same bike with a Stage 1 kit put on it and noticed the difference, it probably isn't going to mean much to you. But for those of you who have a Stage 1 on your bike and bought it stock, put the Stage 1 on yourself, you already know that a Stage 1 upgrade totally changes the character of the bike, changes the character of the way that the motor runs, and changes the entire experience of being on that particular motorcycle. So knowing that this Wide Glide has already had the work done and the parts put on for a Stage 1 should definitely ring a few more bells for anyone who's looking to add a bike like this to their garage. If you're unfamiliar with what goes into a Stage 1, there are 3 parts to a Stage 1 upgrade. You get a high flow intake, you get a high flow exhaust, and then you have it tuned done to the control unit in the bike so that it has the electronics and the software in it to properly manage that increase in air, that increase in pressure coming out through the exhaust, and to fully take advantage of those parts that were put on for the Stage 1 kit. And this is also just sort of what I would consider more of the business side of the motor here on the right side, because you get to see all those parts, and there's a lot more chrome and a lot more craftsmanship for us to see on the right side of the bike. Of course, you do get this gorgeous high flow 103 air intake and filter cover. You do get this wonderful 2-into-1 back into 2 exhaust that has actually had the baffles removed. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this bike up, give it a couple revs so you can hear what that sounds like. Well, all right, guys, that's enough just looking at this thing. Let's get it on the road, see how she rides. Like I said, I personally believe and still stand by the idea that the Dyna was the best first motorcycle or a rider's first motorcycle that Harley ever made. And I've got 3 main reasons for that. And the most important reason, I think, is that the Dyna as a platform and as a bike is crazy versatile. And now, bear in mind, yes, pretty much everything that Harley makes has a huge aftermarket parts catalog available to it. There's a lot that can be done to it. There's a lot of different iterations and expressions of a bike on a certain platform that can be built out. But I believe that the Dyna does it best. And I believe they do it best because Harley Davidson have shown that the Dyna can do pretty much anything. Now, how did they do that? Well, what if you want a nice touring bike? Think of the Switchback, right? Switchback was built on the Dyna frame, came with hard saddlebags, came with a quick detach windshield, came with a bigger nacelle or housing for the headlight, and it was pretty much a baby Road King. And in fact, that's how Sean from SRK Cycles, that's how he referred to it. He referred to it as like a baby Road King, and I think that is the perfect characterization of that particular iteration of the Dyna. But then they went the other direction, and they went the complete other direction, of course, and they gave us the Dyna Lowrider S, which has since been replaced by the Softail Lowrider S because they quit making Dynas after 2017, which is still a sore subject for me, so let's not go too deep into that. But they made the Dyna Lowrider S, which I first saw on Blockhead's channel. I believe that was the second bike that he had and was riding on his channel, you know, hundreds of thousands of subscribers ago, I think. But I remember seeing that bike, seeing him work on it, hearing about him, you know, purchase it and his first rides and all the stuff he had done to it. And I just remember thinking, that's a sick bike. That's a cool bike. That's a sporty cruiser that I could get on and definitely enjoy riding. And to this day, having ridden a couple Dyna Lowrider S's and the Softail Lowrider S, I think the Dyna Lowrider S does it better. And that's just me, you know, don't let my biases be your biases. So anyway, the Dyna is wildly versatile. Touring bike, sport cruiser, if you will. It's a great commuter bike. You know, if you just needed a bike to commute and you didn't want to break the bank, Dyna Lowrider, not Lowrider S, just a Lowrider, fantastic bike. Or one of these, a Wide Glide or a Super Glide, perfect commuter bikes. Great for a Friday night out for, you know, a run for food or to meet up with some friends. You name it, there is a Dyna for it. Now, does that mean that there aren't other bikes that Harley Davidson have made that also, you know, excel at those particular uses? Absolutely not. You know, if I was going to do a 3-day trip and cover a few thousand miles and my options were a Switchback or a Street Glide, you know what? I'm probably going to pick a Street Glide if I have the option. But if I've got Dyna money and I still want to go touring and take nice long trips and be comfortable, I'm going to pick up a Switchback to do it. So yeah, there are other versions of Harleys and other models that do those things well as well. But if you've only got the money for a Dyna, and the reason I say that is, bear this in mind, you're not going to be able to find a brand new, fresh off the lot Dyna. Those don't exist because, again, they quit making them in 2017, so you can't get them new. In fact, the newest you're going to get is a 2017. So that right there by itself helps the, you know, the sticker price of the bike come down relative to newer bikes. So you're going to end up getting better bang for your buck when you go with a used bike versus something that is either lightly used or fresh new. Reason number 2 why I think the Dyna is the best first bike or the best first Harley is because they can fit pretty much anyone. And when I say pretty much anyone, I mean I'm 5'9", 5'10" with my boots on. It fits like a glove. My first Dyna was stupid comfortable. It fit me really, really, really well. But I've also had lots of friends or riders that were on group rides on Dynas who were women, who were maybe shorter or had shorter inseams like me, and their Dyna fit them perfectly. I've known plenty of guys that were 6 foot, 6'2", 6'3" on Dynas. You know, forward controls, taller seat, get a seat that sits you a little back closer towards the fender. You got a bike that fits you no matter how tall you are. They're really versatile, not just in terms of parts and application, but also in terms of fit, finish, and ergonomics and comfort. And reason number 3 why I think the Dyna is one of the best, if not the best, first Harley you could pick up for yourself, you're not going to grow out of it. Now, if you decide to do a different kind of riding more often, you might choose to buy a different bike. But in terms of outgrowing the motor or outgrowing the power of your bike, it's not going to happen on a Dyna. Why? Because they all came with the big V twin. You don't have to sacrifice engine potential and go with the 1200 Sportster just because you don't have money for a Softail, right? You don't have to go with a smaller motor just because of the budget, or just because of the size of the bike. Maybe you want the big V twin, but you don't want an electric glide. Well, no duh. But if you want that smaller frame, something, again, really versatile, that's going to fit you unless you're unusually tall or unusually short, then a Dyna is going to be it. And it comes with a bigger V-twin that has all the power you need to get in and out of certain situations safely, with enough power to get you out of them quickly. And of course, you've got the power behind you to actually do some highway riding and do some interstate miles. And of course, ooh, if you've got that stage 1 exhaust, your bike might sound as good as this one. Woo! I tell you what, this thing sounds incredible. So yeah, those are my top 3 reasons why a Dyna is the best first Harley or best first cruiser for someone who is new to motorcycling. If you think I'm wrong, let me know down in the comments. If you're a diehard Dyna fan and you're picking up what I'm putting down, let me know down in the comments. If you think I'm an idiot and you think that the Sportster, Standard, 1200, Roadster, or that a Softail is the real best first Harley, let me know down in the comments. I always welcome new and different opinions when it comes to motorcycles. That's what helps us figure out what's really best for us. And if you're new to the channel, this is the first time checking me out, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Again, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about what the very best first bike or first cruiser is. And until then, I'll see you guys on the road. Peace.